Hey guys, my name is Kirsty and welcome to my very first wrap-up video. So I decided to do this type of video because some of you might not watch my readathon vlogs, so you don't really know what I have read during the past month, what ratings I give them. So I thought I would do just a wrap-up and we'll see how it goes. So if you thought it was awful, please leave some tips in the comments below on what I can improve, because like my TBR video that I did for October, yeah, this is like the first time that I've done this and I've just got back from university. I realised that I haven't got any videos scheduled, so this is why I have no makeup on, my hair's a complete mess and I'm just all over the place basically. So yeah, let's just get on with it, shall we? Okie dokie, so the first book that I started and finished in September was Blue Lily Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefwater, and this is the third book in the Raven cycle. Okay, so I've seen some people say that this is their favourite book of the series. No, The Dream Thieves is still my favourite one, like nothing will beat that. But this was still really good. We carry on following Blue, Gansey, Ronan, Adam, Noah on their quest to find Glendower, and obviously I can't say too much about this because it's the third book, so spoilers, but just know that this is really good. I think I gave this a 4 out of 5 because it still didn't live up to my thoughts of The Dream Thieves. So that is the first book I read, Blue Lily Lily Blue. And then of course, as soon as I finished Blue Lily Lily Blue, I had to go on to The Raven King, which is the fourth and final book in the Raven cycle. I gave this I think I gave this a 4 out of 5 as well, because my issue with this book was the ending. It didn't fulfill everything for me. There was just things that didn't sit right or that weren't explained properly. And I'm thinking about doing actually a review and discussion on this book because there's a lot that I want to say, but I can't say it during these videos because, again, spoilers. So yeah, 4 out of 5. Dream Thieves is still the best one in the series in my opinion, but the ending the ending is what let this down, unfortunately. But I'm excited for the new Ronan trilogy that we are getting, so that's going to be really exciting and I can't wait until the first book comes out. So that's the second book that I read this month. And then the next book that I read, I actually listened to an audiobook, and that was The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. This is the first book in a new series that she's writing, and the second book, which is called The Female's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy, I think it is. But yeah, the first book, The Gentleman's Guide, follows this character called Henry Montague, but his friends call him Monty. Before he's set to inherit his father's estate, he wants to go on this grand tour of Europe with his best friend Percy and his sister Felicity, and this book is all about their adventures that they get up to. This isn't a spoiler, this is like on the blurb, but Henry is in love with his best friend Percy and he doesn't know what to say, and he doesn't know how to act around Percy. He doesn't know if Percy feels the same way. So we've got a brilliant bisexual main character in this book. We've got a female protagonist who is Felicity, who isn't afraid to go after what she wants, and this is just a brilliant book. It's set in the 18th century, so in the 1700s, and this is probably one of my favourite books of the year so far because it broke me, but it made me happy at the same time, and the audiobook was absolutely amazing. So if any of you are looking for a good audiobook, get this one, because the narrator, I can't remember his name, but I'll just tag it here. He was just brilliant and he really brought the story to life. So yes, I love A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, and I do actually have a full review for this, so I will link that in the description box below and I'll put it up here as well. And then after The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, I finally got round to reading This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab, who is also known as V.E. Schwab. And Victoria Schwab is the author of A Darker Shade of Magic and also Vicious. Everyone raves about V.E. Schwab. I have not heard one single negative thing about her. So I went into this book with very, very high expectations. And This Savage Song is about these two families. So you have the Harkers and the Flynns, and they are on two different sides of the city. They have two opposing political views, and this city is full of monsters. So their views differ on how to deal with the monsters, what the monsters are like, what they should do with them. On the Harker side, there is Kate Harker, whose father hunts the monsters. And then on the Flynn side, we have August Flynn, who is a monster. So we follow both of their perspectives at first, and then both their perspectives just like intertwine with each other. So there's monsters, there's blood, there's gore, there's strong friendship. There is absolutely everything in this book, and I cannot recommend it enough. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was just brilliant. I haven't got around to reading Our Dark Duet yet. As you will soon realise, I have been reading university books, but I really, really want to read Our Dark Duet, and I cannot wait because this book was just amazing. So fully recommend this one. And then this is where I start the university books. The first one that I read was Dubliners by James Joyce, and what I didn't realise is this book is actually for semester 2. I thought we studied it in semester 1, so I read it early. At least I'm prepared, okay? But I gave this a 3 out of 5, and the only reason I gave it a 3 and not higher was because I don't really read classical literature, so I'm not 100% sure on the style. I'm not used to reading it. So I feel like the more I read classics, the more like I'll get used to the language more and I can understand it better. But still, this is a collection of short stories that are about middle class families in Dublin, and it's got like a whole religious theme to it as well. So I can't wait to actually study in class in semester 2. Not semester 1. And then for the Gothic module that I am taking this year, I had to read The Castle of Otranto by Horace Walpole, and this was a very, very strange book. I gave this a 2.5 out of 5 because there was no speech marks, and it just confused me so much, the fact that there were no speech marks, because I just couldn't keep up with who was talking, and it was just, yeah, it confused me. But this book is about the family, and it's got ghosts, supernatural elements in it. This isn't a spoiler because it's at the very beginning of the book, but someone gets killed when a helmet, like a metal armor helmet, falls on top of them. And they don't know how that happened because, yeah. So that's at the very beginning, and there's secret passageways, there's romance, there's tragedy. There's everything, and it's only short as well. It's only 117 pages, I think. So it won't take you long to read, but it is interesting. And I did say in my readathon video that I'm excited to delve into this in class so I can understand it a bit more, and that means I can appreciate it more as well. So yeah, 2.5 stars at the moment. It might go up depending on what I learn about it. So, and the final book that I read, like physically, in September was The Castles of Athlin and Dunbayne by Anne Radcliffe, and this was also for the Gothic module that I am studying at university. This one, again, set in 2 castles this time, Athlin Castle and the Dunbayne Castle, and the different castles are home to 2 rivals, and it's about imprisonment of one of the characters, and the whole story is revolved around trying to release the prisoner who's been imprisoned in the Dunbayne Castle. So the whole story centres around trying to release him from the castle, and again there's romance, there's tragedy, there's unknown family affiliations, and it was really interesting. I think I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 because it was more interesting than The Castle of Otranto. There wasn't hugely supernatural elements in it. I don't think there was any supernatural elements in it, thinking back now, but it was still a really good Gothic novel, and I do recommend it. This is Anne Radcliffe's very first published work. She wrote The Mysteries of Udolpho, which everyone raves about, so I'm definitely going to be giving that one a go. But this is her first book. Many people say that it's rubbish, but I actually really liked it. And then the next three are ones that I listened to on audiobook, and I don't have the physical copies of them to show you. So those are Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerry Maniscalco, and this is the first book in a series that she's writing. So the second book is called Hunting Prince Dracula, and that's already out, so you can binge read or binge listen to them. Stalking Jack the Ripper is about this young girl, and she is obsessed with dead bodies. Her uncle works in a mortuary, and she helps her uncle dissect bodies and figure out how they were killed or how they died. And during this whole process, Jack the Ripper makes his way into London, and it's about our main character Audrey Rose, who wants to find out who Jack the Ripper is because she's dissected the women that he kills. Audrey Rose teams up with Thomas Cresswell, who is a student of her uncle, and both of them together stalk Jack the Ripper. And I absolutely loved this book. There were a few things that I thought could have been improved, but I do have a review to that on my blog, so I will link that down below. But no, I gave this a 4 or a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I am so excited to listen to Hunting Prince Dracula because I already have that on audiobook and I can't wait to get around to it. But again, university books, they need to be read first. And then the next two audiobooks that I listened to were the first two books in a trilogy, now becoming a series, and that is Northern Lights by Philip Pullman and The Subtle Knife by Philip Pullman. I also have a review for the Northern Lights on my blog, so I will put that in the description box below as well. Northern Lights, absolutely loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I loved the character of Lyra. I loved the adventures that she went on. I just thought it was really, really exciting, and the ending just... I started listening to The Subtle Knife straight after I finished Northern Lights because the ending was just too much of a cliffhanger for me to leave it. So I went straight on to The Subtle Knife, and I didn't like this one as much because I didn't like the character of Will. Now, everyone that I have spoken to loves his character, so I don't know whether it's the audiobook version of him where the voice actor of Will kind of makes him seem a bit arrogant and obnoxious. So I don't know whether that's the voice actor that makes him sound like that, or whether he just comes across in that way. I'm not 100% sure. Other than the fact that I wasn't keen on him, I did like The Subtle Knife. I really enjoyed the premise. I liked how it switched between the world that Will and Lyra were in, and then the world that some of the other characters are in, like back in Lyra's world. So I loved how it switched between worlds just to show what was going on in each one. But like I said, I did rate The Subtle Knife less than the Northern Lights. So I think I gave the Northern Lights 4 out of 5, and I'm going to give The Subtle Knife, because I haven't actually rated it yet, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. So, and I'm currently reading The Amber Spyglass, well, listening to The Amber Spyglass on audiobook, so you will hear my thoughts on that in my next wrap up video. So yeah, those are all the books that I read in September. Seems like a good reading month. I read 10 books. That's not bad, but the uni books were taking me longer than I wanted them to. So that's it for my September wrap up video. What did you guys think of it? If you got any feedback for me, just leave the feedback in the comments box below, and I would be very grateful if you just gave me some tips on how I could improve or what I did well on it, stuff like that. It's like I'm back in high school really, but oh well. So if you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you've got any comments, questions, or again feedback, leave it in the comments box. And yeah, I post videos Mondays, Tuesdays and Fridays. So if you would like a notification for when any videos come up, just click on the bell icon below and you will receive notifications for when I post a new video. I will link all of the reviews to the books that I have read in the description box below as well, so you can check those out. That's all I have to say. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!